Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about Trey Lance and kind of the year two quarterbacks in a nutshell, and basically which one I believe is going to take the biggest step in year two of their NFL careers. But before we hop into the content of today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. And a few days ago we hit 2,000 subscribers, so I want to thank you guys for that, for the continued support on all the videos, and hopefully we can get this thing going as we move towards 3K. But with all that being said, let's hop into the video about Trey Lance and his year two season that's up ahead. So before we get into Trey Lance's 2022 season, let's go ahead and look into his last season and where it all began for his NFL career. So Trey Lance was selected by the 49ers with a third pick in the 2021 NFL draft. They traded 3 first and a third round pick with the Miami Dolphins to trade up to the number 3 spot, and their guy was Trey Lance all along. There's a lot of smoke screens that Mac Jones was potentially the quarterback they were going to select there, but it turned out it was always Trey Lance, and that is truly really idolized with that pick before trading up. Now the reason for their obsession, well, you got to think of the measurables that Trey Lance has. At 6'4", 220 pounds, Lance has pretty much the prototypical size that every NFL team is looking for. On top of that, he has a 4.5 40-yard dash, and he's got a rocket for an arm. So if there's a quarterback that you're going to trade up for and invest your future in, you'd want that player to have the traits that Trey Lance does. And that was why the 49ers were so obsessed with the talent and took him with the third pick in the draft. Now, as a rookie, Lance didn't really play that much. He came out of North Dakota State really raw as a prospect and player, and I think it was smart for the 49ers to kind of ease his transition into the NFL and having a bridge quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo to help that transition. So Lance started and finished 2 games last year. He had a 1-1 record, completing 57% of his passes for 603 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, which are pretty good numbers considering it's only 2 games. Those are really solid to have 5 touchdowns in 2 games. But Jimmy Garoppolo was really the man last year for the 49ers. He brought the team all the way to the NFC Championship game for the second time with his stint with the 49ers. But Jimmy G really has a low ceiling, and that was the essential reason why the 49ers traded so many picks to go ahead and get Trey Lance. They already have a good roster. They have Nick Bosa and Fred Warner leading that defense. They have a George Kittle, a Deebo Samuel on the offensive side of the ball. They have a lot of stars across the board, and they thought that their team was good enough and they needed that quarterback to get him over the hump. And as we've seen, Jimmy G has made some costly mistakes in 2 of the biggest games of his career, which kind of proves the 49ers right that they do need that one player to kind of get them over the hump, and they believe that player to be Trey Lance. Now, the thought process that Lance has a great second year and the biggest jump out of any second-year quarterback next year, it really relies on Jimmy G getting traded, to put it point blank. And Kyle Shanahan has come out and said, I expect him at some time, most likely, to be traded. But who knows? That's not a guarantee. It's been on hold when surgery happened. When he's healthy, we will see what happens. So it seems like they are wanting to trade Garoppolo, but it seems like they're also fine with keeping him. And I really think this decision hinders on Trey Lance's ability in practice during this offseason OTAs and training camp. And if he impresses the team and the coaches and make them comfortable to have him be their starter going into the year and expecting him to play all 17 games. I think if they're not comfortable with that, they're going to try to hold on to Jimmy G and maybe have him start the season, and if things kind of fall apart, then put in Lance for the rest of the year. But then again, that's just kind of a trial and error, and I don't know if that's the best recipe for success for the 49ers next season or even for the future. Some good news about Lance, though, is it is reported that he impressed people within the organization so far this spring, and the team feels he's already shown progress early in organized team activities. Thursday was believed to be his best practice of the offseason, and this was practiced actually 2 days ago. So Lance seems to be on the come up as far as how he's practicing this offseason, which is a really good sign if you're a 49ers fan that wants Trey Lance to start this year and have Jimmy G traded out somewhere. You really need Trey Lance to show off what he can do in practice, or if he doesn't, the 49ers are likely going to stick with Jimmy G this year again until they really feel comfortable with Trey Lance. Some more news that has come out about Lance over the last couple of days is he did talk about his finger in the press conference. Apparently, he played with a broken index finger throughout the season, which kind of hampered the games he played in and also may have prevented some other starts that he could have had throughout the year. And he said, I think the finger for me was the biggest thing, that just as far as throwing the ball. I kind of had to learn to throw the ball differently without kind of using my pointer finger. I guess because just where it was at throughout the year. But now I feel like I'm in a great spot, health-wise and throwing the ball well and feeling really good. So we don't really know the extent of this injury and how bad his finger actually was, but it seems like it did affect him throughout the year, and it is good to see him back healthy, and hopefully this makes a little bit of a difference for some accuracy problems he had early in the year. I mentioned earlier he completed 57% of his passes last season. Maybe his finger had an impact on that, and hopefully he can clean it up and be a little bit more accurate as we get into training camp and get ready for the 2022 season. Now, the environment that Lance is in and the talent that he is surrounded by kind of goes hand in hand with the talent and the measurables that he has, as far as me believing that he's going to take the biggest step out of any year 2 quarterback. I mean, if you look across the board, they have Trent Williams at left tackle, who is one of the best, if not the best left tackle in the league, who can guard his blind side without any fear of ever somebody hitting him from behind. And then you have Deebo Samuel, who may be the best overall weapon in the NFL, the versatility to play inside, outside, and even get in the backfield and be a dynamic running back. It's a very amazing asset to have in an offense. And then, of course, you have Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, who are, of course, 2 amazing receiving outlets on the outside. And even Elijah Mitchell had a good year last year as an undrafted free agent running back. So the 49ers have weapons, and I think their offensive scheme is very quarterback friendly. The Shanahan system has been known to kind of help out quarterbacks throughout its history, and that West Coast system, it just relies heavily on the running game, and it won't really ask the quarterback to sling it 40-50 times a game, as we've seen with Jimmy G and other quarterbacks who run this system. They can kind of relax, hand the ball off, and make key plays here and there, and as long as they can do that, they're really fit the system well. And I think that's what they're going to try to do with Trey Lance, especially if he plays this year early in the year. Kind of rely on that running game early on in the season, and then as Trey Lance starts to get more experience, add more to his plate, and then add more to his plate as he can handle more things. But I'll be really interested to see Trey Lance this season. I think he's going to have a great year if the 49ers do trade Jimmy G, which I believe that they will end up doing. But let me know what you guys think of Trey Lance, or which year 2 quarterback is going to have the biggest jump and have the best season in 2022. My vote goes to Trey Lance, but let me know what you guys think. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.